Pep Rango from Diario Sport. First of all, welcome to Miami. Second of all, it was interesting that there was a conversation that you had in a previous press conference a few days ago about how the game is changing. And the colleague really didn't address the question very well and saying it was your game is in decline, which obviously you answered very, very resoundingly in an obvious manner. But looking at the way things are coming in from the World Cup and all the tendencies or lack thereof tendencies that we see tactically coming in, what do you see that a team with possession, such as a City, such as a Bayern Munich, such as a team like Barcelona coming to try and evolve that next step and start to really be able to break through the tendencies that we've seen so far this summer?
Well, good afternoon. Thank you. I think we have a mistake to judge the tendency when one event that it takes every 4 years during 1 month. So why wouldn't take a tendency what happened in the football in the La Liga or in the Premier League or in the Bundesliga or in Italian or in other countries in South America? So I think it's a mistake to make a tendency what happened in the World Cup for 1 month. It doesn't happen in 4 years when normally in the World Cup the teams they're together 2 months, no more than that. So I think that the discussion is simple. So every manager make their teams plays that they want, that they try. It depends on the quality of the players they have. It's simple like that. In the football, since 1 century or 2 centuries or 3 centuries, playing different styles. And everybody, when he wins, everybody's curious why that team's won, and if they lose, why they lose. It's simple like that.
Hi, Pep.
Hi.
How many are any of the English or Belgian players? Are they going to be back in training next week? Have you spoken to them about whether they're going to be back in Manchester?
Yeah, most of them are coming back. Most of them, 31 first, because we have just 4 or 5 days to prepare our first final. So we have to adapt. Some of them is coming back. Some of them is coming back after the final.
How important is that for you to have players that want to come back early?
Well, we make of course it's important because we need players to play the final. But if they are not coming back, we play with the guys we are here. So I said in the previous, so that is not the ideal situation for any manager, not just for me. I would prefer to be all together, but I think for Niko Kovac or for the other managers is the same, to be together. But we have to adapt. The schedule is the schedule. The calendar is the calendar. So we have to adapt, and we made 1 pre-season. We're going to make another pre-season before the start of the season. I would prefer as soon as possible come back, but that is not possible.
Jörg Alter from Bild in Germany. Pep, nice to meet you again. 2 questions, please. What are your personal feelings about meeting FC Bayern again tomorrow here in Miami? And the second one, Niko Kovac told us that he says you were the best coach in the world. What could you teach him when you met once in Qatar?
Well, I have a lot of friends in Bayern. It was one of the most biggest experience, and not just for me, for my family as well. So always I will have honor. Once in my life I was manager from Bayern Munich, and that is, I remember the day when they called me and said maybe the chance to come there, it was wow. It was a dream, and my experience was so good. Forget about it, the results, forget about it, what happened. So my family was so happy in Munich. Still I have an apartment there, and every time I can, I come back. So, and I have a lot of friends here, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of them. And always is a pleasure to be with managers. I learned a lot when I was a start, to be with another managers, and I was so curious about that. And when Nico and his brother came to Qatar, and Marcus Horvik and explained to me to make a just meeting, take a coffee, we discussed. They were so kind to me. And after that, he took over the Eintracht Frankfurt, not in a very good position, and what he had done there was fantastic. And I saw the game against, especially Juventus. Curiously, they lost, but I was really impressed the way they play. I think they play better than the day we won in PSG. And I'm pretty sure they're going to make a good season. And he knows the club, he knows the mentality from Bayern Munich, and I am glad. I will be happy if they have success, and hopefully in Champions League we can meet each other.
Igor Mello, CBS Sports. Pep, Douglas Luiz, he's been in and out of your lineup this summer. What kind of impression has he given you, and what kind of role do you see for him this season?
Was in the first game. The second game, unfortunately, had a little bit problem in the ligament. He could have not played. That's why he didn't play. Tomorrow, I don't know, he will be able to play. But it was, I think, a good experience. But he didn't play regular in Girona last season. We knew him very well from Brazil. But now he's training 10 days and he has potential, real potential. He's physically strong. He want to learn. And, okay, hopefully tomorrow he can play and we'll see what happens in the end of the, this month.
Hello, Carlos Lopez from Diarios in Spain. Is it possible to ask in Spanish?
We're going to do them in English to that, please.
Okay. Pep, the past 2 years now since you left Munich. I would just like to know if you are, how do you see your 3 years there now in terms of football? Did you leave with satisfaction? Did you feel now that you probably would have done some things different? How do you see your 3 years in Munich from now, if you look back?
No, I have, of course, when I have more better perspective in terms of the distance. But the perspective is, as I said before, is always positive. So during the process, 3 years in one club, no matter which one, always you have good moments, bad moments. Of course, the dream of that club, Bayern Munich, for the biggest club is win the Champions League. We were close 3 years, especially the last one, but against Atletico Madrid, but to reach the final. But always when I was football player, playing in Italy or in Qatar or whatever, always my memory is always the people I met them. So about the judge, it depends on my happiness, or the judge the people about me, about how many titles, depends on me. So I have friends there in Munich, I still friends there. That is counts to me. I came back in Munich for my friends, I live there. So that's why I never will have, I had and I will have a bad word because I didn't have bad experience. It was a dream to be there. And always will be an important part of my life. Like was Barcelona, I will be the same in England. So that's why I'm satisfied and I have any regrets about what happened there.
Jessica Carro with Associated Press. I wanted to ask, you mentioned in one of your interviews that you like working with good players. Is personality important when you're picking some of the players before you sign them, or do you just look at their skill? And then I also have one more question, if you don't mind.
I think that is the most important thing, the personality. But to know the personality, you have to know them. And when you know them, they have already signed. So that is the problem. But of course, we try to ask about the quality, like especially human being. I love to work with nice people. I hate to work with people who is not respect for his mates, his managers, the club itself. So that's why we are trying. But of course, the skills, it's important too, to be a quality on the pitch.
Of course. And can I ask one more question? Do you have any future plans or any plans for new signings for this season?
If we sign one more. But in that moment, maybe we stay we stay. So the transfer is so expensive. We spent a lot last year because we had an old team. And we're going to keep going with carry on with the same guys. But maybe comes one, maybe not. I don't know exactly right moment.
Mr. Guardiola, Sport 1 from Germany. Nice to meet you. Have you been surprised about the fact that Leroy Sané has not been nominated for the World Cup? And what have you done in the days after that situation with him?
Like a manager, I don't like to be judged for my colleagues about they do. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. And Jürgen Löw had in his head, and all my decisions I can understand because I put in his position. If Leroy is strong like he is, and he take like in the positive way, that will help him to be a stronger player in the future. It's what it is. So it's work harder and harder, and always is young. The challenge is in 2 years the European Cup, in 4 years another World Cup, and every season to improve his game, to make him better in his club, and that is the only way. So in the sport, the complacency or complain or something like that don't bring anywhere. Okay, thank you.